Hi everyone, today we are going to be learning tarot in a very short period of time. I'm going to be here to teach you. Now, I just want to say that anyone can actually read tarot. It's about how you do it and of course the different meanings, and those can be sort of quite challenging to learn. So I'm going to be sharing with you the meanings and of course how to read. So I actually read with spirit guides, so I know all of the meanings of the cards and then I essentially channel, and I have spirit guides and angels that I actually use throughout my readings to feel out the energy and to be able to interpret the energy my spirits are around. So I really truly believe that when I'm shuffling cards, they influence the energy around me, and that's essentially how I am able to read. So I'm going to be sharing with you all of the meanings for all 78 of the tarot cards. So, first thing I want to mention is that the cards can be read upright or in reverse. As a reader, I mainly read upright just because I think there are enough messages in the tarot cards to be able to read completely upright, and I also that's how the guides around me essentially help me to read the cards as well. The other thing I want to mention is that when I'm talking about the meanings of these cards, if you are someone who likes to read reversed, or if your cards come out in reverse a lot, the meanings are the complete opposite. Okay, so we are going to start first of all with the Fool card. The Fool card is the first card in tarot, but it's also 0, which means that essentially it is number 0, even though it's the first card. So let's start with the Fool card. The Fool is this fresh, clean, new energy. Just like when you start from 0, it is this beautiful, clean slate. The Fool is standing on top of this cliff, very carefree, has a rose in their hand. It's like they've packed up all of their belongings. They're ready to go on this journey. They're ready to take this leap of faith with this little dog here as well. And this dog sort of is warning them of any challenges, or warning them of any turmoil that the Fool may face, because the Fool is someone who can be quite immature and just take this leap of faith without even thinking twice. So the Fool is known to be this challenging, kind of devilish, I don't want to say challenging in a very negative way, but really sort of just goes and does stuff and is very, very much carefree, really carefree, and this energy that is just fresh, it's new, it's the beginning, and it's a really great energy to start off the whole tarot section with. We also have the Sun here as well, and it's just this fresh, clean energy. Now in reverse, it would mean the opposite. Okay, so it would mean the opposite of every single thing I said. So we have the Fool. Then we have number 1, which is the Magician. The Magician is about manifestations. The Magician is about being an illusionist, a trickster. So this could be about dealing with someone who is, someone who says one thing, does another, but the Magician is actually very, very smart. And this is also a card about law of attraction, being able to manifest all the things that you want. In this card, we have the infinity symbol above here. We have, the Magician has their own wand to make things happen. And on this table, you see that there is a wand, a cup, a pentacle, and a sword, which are all of the ingredients, I guess, in tarot. We also have a lot of growth with this, these beautiful flowers. So the Magician is about making things happen. You can, it's also about communication as well. If you're, stuck in a particular situation, this is about being able to get out of that situation. It's also about, fake it till you make it, that kind of an energy where you can really manifest the things that you want in your life. That is the Magician. Again, in reverse, it would mean the opposite. Then we have number 2, the High Priestess. High Priestess is known to be earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, is also known to be more so Taurus energy, very intuitive. We have the B and the J pillars, and these essentially are to create balance. Now also you have, this beautiful, this blue, you have this moon here, which is known to be about secrets, illusions. The High Priestess is someone who can figure people out. She is someone who stands in their power. Remember, there's also no genders in tarot, so you may be talking about, you know, someone female here, but this card could represent a male as well who just takes on a more female trait. So the High Priestess is very intuitive, very intelligent, can really smell when something is off, when something is wrong, when someone's lying to her. And this energy is very, very symbolic, because it's about this, you know, people just know. People just know. High Priestess knows what the truth is. It's also about trusting your intuition and your gut, and, you know, just being okay if you're a bit more of a vulnerable person, but making sure that you trust your intuition, because this card usually does come out when, you know, the guides are really, really suggesting that it's okay to trust yourself. Even if you don't understand the situation, it's very important to trust yourself, because sometimes you know the answer. So that, in short, is the High Priestess. Then we move on to the Empress. I love the Empress. The Empress is this beautiful energy surrounded by Venus, of course, the ruler of love. And it's this energy about the mother. You know, again, there's no genders in tarot. So, you know, you could be a male that takes on the Empress energy. The Empress has just so much happening for her. There's harvest. There's also a lot of growth with these trees. She's wearing florals. Well, yeah. And she's got this beautiful crown. She's just sitting in her power. She's this mother energy. And this is about being kind, caring, nurturing, loving, unconditional. This can also be about how people perceive the Empress. So again, it's about how you take this card, whether you pull it for yourself, you pull it for someone else, or whether the spirits are telling you that it's linked to one person or another person. And it's really this beautiful energy. It's also a card about spring and summer, and a card where, you know, the Empress just makes people grow and see themselves and has the best interest of others. This is a really beautiful card and a beautiful, 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 beautiful energy. Again, earth energy as well. And the Empress does have a counterpart. Now, the High Priestess also had a counterpart as well. So counterparts are like the opposites, like, you know, kings and queens. So we're going to talk about the Empress's counterpart, which is the Emperor. And then we're going to talk about the High Priestess's counterpart, which actually comes after the Emperor, believe it or not. I know, that's so strange. But we have the Emperor. The Emperor is ruled by Aries. The Emperor sits in his power, is very, very powerful, very confident, has a lot of authority, is someone who is just very sort of fiery as well, because it is, of course, Aries energy. So he is wrapped up in very red energy. However, the thing about the Emperor is he's not very emotional. He doesn't show a lot of emotions. He has a very stern face, and you can see the Aries symbols on all four corners. So it's almost like all four of his edges are very fiery, and just extremely, extremely fiery and very much in their power. But the Emperor doesn't tend to show a lot of emotion, and so that is something to take on board with this particular energy, is that there's this lack of emotion but a lot of power. And you know, that's how the two counterparts are able to balance each other, because the Empress is very, very emotional, but they work. It's this opposites attract energy. But when you're reading this for a particular person, it could mean that they're very much in their power, you know, they're very honest and upfront, but perhaps they are not very emotional, and they just have a lot of that fire within them. You know, not everybody is emotional, but that is pretty much the Emperor. Then we have the Hierophant. Hierophant is the counterpart to the High Priestess, ruled by Taurus energy as well, Earth energy, so Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn as well. The Hierophant is an energy to do with authority and more, I guess, religion and practice of that nature. Is also known to be like a father figure, someone long-term, like almost like husband material, because the Hierophant really values commitment, stability, long-term. That's what they value. They really, really want that in their life. And in, you know, it's almost that idea of a key, commitment. So the Hierophant is this figure of, I always think of church as well, and spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs, but I also think about order and tradition. So, it could be marriage and commitment and doing things in a specific order, but also this father figure and this figure that really believes in tradition, essentially. So we have the Hierophant. This is about order, commitment, values, but very, very strong Taurus energy, and we know that Taurus is very much someone that values commitment and marriage. Now, of course, not all Tauruses do, but Taurus stereotypically is known to be quite a family-driven energy. Then we have the Lovers. This is Gemini energy. This is beautiful. This is so, so beautiful. This is essentially love. I don't know how else to explain it to you guys. We have the Sun here. We have this sort of split energy. Gemini is known to be two sides, the twins, of course, but it's almost like you are one soul split into two, and you have found your other person. Or when you pull this card in a reading and you're asking a question about love, it just signifies that that person is thinking about you, that person wants you, or that you want that person. Or it really depends in which way this card is pulled, but it's a very, very important card. If you pull it in terms of family, it just shows that there's a lot of love there and a lot of support, and it's very equal and very mutual and very loving and gentle, and it's this growing, blooming energy. So that's essentially what the Lovers is. If you pull it in the career, again, it shows that things are blooming, that it's essentially a match for you. That kind of an energy. It's this sort of match made in heaven energy where your two souls sort of split into two, and it's just energy where everything is growing and blooming, and it's like you're blessed by the angels, and everything is you just feel like you're on top of the world, essentially. And there's just one path, where you take each other's hands and you just go down that path, which could also indicate marriage and commitment again. So that is the Lovers. Then we move on to the Chariot. This card is ruled by Cancer, the nurturing mother energy. This card is all about things moving forward, things progressing, moving on the up. It can also be about traveling, journeys that are being made, and it's all about balance and stability as well. It's just about taking that leap of faith and that journey, and that things will work out. If you're pulling this in terms of family, it's about things moving forward, things progressing. Same goes for career and love as well. And it can, of course, mean that you may take a journey, or you may go meet, someone or a person in regards to whatever that particular question is. Cancer energy is very nurturing, so it is a very positive card to take. It means that things are essentially on the move and moving very, very well. Again, as I mentioned, anything in reverse is going to mean the opposite. It could mean, obstacles, not being able to move. It could mean that things are a bit stuck right now, etc. So that is the Chariot. Then we move on to Strength. This card is ruled by Leo. It is an energy of, infinite abundance. It is also about feeling that you can overcome all of your fears, that you can tame that lion, you can tame that beast that may be within you that may cause anxiety or friction, or you may feel like you're down on yourself, you may not feel so good about yourself. This is about adapting strength, knowing that you can overcome obstacles if you are able to be strong within yourself. This card is just so beautiful. I know so many Leos that are just so strong but so kind and gentle, and it's that energy that you don't have to be strong and let go of that gentle side. It's about being gentle but also being able to tame your fears at the same time and hold on to strength. This card is usually pulled in situations when you really need to adapt to strength. Even if you feel like you're strong, it doesn't help to have some more strength. So this card usually, if you do pull this card, it just means adapting more strength, having more strength in the situation, or that somebody else needs to have some more strength. I don't know how much more I can talk about this particular card, but it's very, very, it's a great indicator for sure for strength. So I'm just going to take a little sip of my tea. Now we move on to the Hermit. This is Virgo. Virgo likes to analyze, be self-critical, judge things. They like to go within quite a lot. So this is that hermit mode, going and hiding and taking space, taking a breather. This I don't believe is a negative thing whatsoever, because it actually means that you can see things a lot clearer. You see that, you know, they're holding this light, they're able to see things a lot clearer, they're able to guide themselves to a better place. So this is a really positive card, but it can also mean that, you know, if you pull this, it could mean that someone else is sort of in a bit of a hiding mode, they need some space, they need time to reflect and analyze and think. Could mean the same for you. So essentially this is what that particular card means, you know, trying to find yourself, trying to find the light, trying to find your purpose, your direction, you're trying to judge things, you're trying to analyze things. It's very much that Virgo card, and once that has been done, then, you know, you're able to see more clearly, essentially. I can't even speak today. Okay, so that is Virgo. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is all about abundance coming your way. It's about things turning. It's about manifestation. It's about positivity. It's about equal balance. It's also about, you know, once the wheel turns, there's this infinite abundance that comes your way. It's also about fortune. So essentially, it's a great card to have. It really is. It indicates that something more is coming towards you, but something very, very positive. So this is a really great, it's like a good luck charm to have in your reading, because it indicates something very, very positive coming your way. Then we have the Justice card. This card is ruled by Libra. This is all about balance. This could be to do with courtroom issues. It could be to do with legal matters, documents, those kinds of things, but it also signifies karma, which means that things could, you know, what goes around comes back around. Justice will be served. If someone treated you wrong, or if you did something wrong to them, you will get your karma, they will get their karma. It's about balance as well, because Libra is all about the scales, but it's also about balance and being able to cut out people, places and things that no longer serve you. It's also about karmic situations, lessons that people need to learn, lessons that you may need to learn, and it's just all about getting what you deserve, or getting karma, or things being resolved, justice being served. It's some kind of some kind of a resolution, because it brings balance. Resolutions do eventually bring balance, and that is what justice is all about. So that is the Justice card. Then we have the Hanged Man. Now, from what I know, this is a Neptune-ruled card, just because it's very, very spiritual. The Hanged Man is known to be a very spiritual card, because they're hanging upside down in this manner, but very in a relaxed way. I know it doesn't look very relaxing, but it's known to be quite relaxing, and there's just so much stillness and calmness, and there's this beautiful light behind their mind, which signifies spirituality, them awakening to the idea of spirituality, thinking about things in a different way, a new perspective, should I say. So this is about gaining a perspective. It's about spirituality, opening up to the idea of spirituality, looking at things in a different perspective, and perhaps even looking at things differently. This is about a different way of looking at things. I just said the exact same thing in about 4 different ways. But the Hanged Man is very, very, very much about spirituality, a new perspective, and also being able to sort of look at things in a different way, and be able to analyze things like that. But it's also about meditation, and essentially taking a bit of time, and kind of your own path as well. So that is the Hanged Man. Then we have the Death card. Death is ruled by Scorpio, water sign, of course. Very, very, very tumultuous. I hope that's the right word that I just used there. But essentially, death is about a rebirth. It's about transformations. So someone could go through a transformation. You may go through a transformation that could be quite emotional. Death could actually also mean death. It could mean illness. It can also, but in most cases, it actually does mean some form of a rebirth, transformation, you know, within yourself, within somebody else, a change. and it means, you know, like a new self, being able to move from one situation to another, but finding that you've transformed yourself into a different person, a better person, that kind of a thing. It can also be a huge emotional transformation, so where someone was not so emotional before, maybe now they're much more open, they're much more relaxed, maybe they're, you know, less anxious, or they're more sort of open to new ideas, new things. It's a rebirth of character as well, more so can be that. So that is death. That is what it signifies. So these are, of course, the major arcanas. Then we have Temperance, which is ruled by Sagittarius. This is an energy about going with the flow, going within. You know, we have this beautiful angel. It's this warm, fuzzy energy with the sun in the background. You've got this beautiful water here, which signifies an emotional balance. You've got these cups with the water going back and forth. But it's about going with the flow. Patience is a virtue, letting things happen, letting things go, letting things grow as well. Just, you know, really thinking spiritually as well. We have some light behind the mind. This is about patience as a virtue, being patient with things, but also understanding to work on yourself, heal yourself, think about yourself, and really let that warmth and radiance take over you, not overwhelm you, and just go, you know, take every day as it comes and focus on yourself, whilst you may, you know, perhaps be waiting on a certain situation to unfold. So that is Temperance, Sagittarius energy. Yes, it's a little bit fiery, but this is more about sort of taming all of that emotional energy as well. Then we have the Devil. This is Capricorn energy, as we can see here. This can be very toxic energy. This can also be about greed, obsession, guilt. This could be about chaining yourself to certain people, places, and things that just make you so obsessed and possessive, which can actually do you no good in the long term. This is about, you know, this can actually be about breaking free from that and wanting to, you know, not be so possessive. This could be a warning essentially for that. But the actual Devil card is very much about making sure that you are being honest with yourself and not being too possessive, because that's when this Devil comes across and it just becomes really toxic and no good for anyone. So this is sort of like that warning to make sure that you're not being overindulgent or guilty or greedy, in terms of situations to do with love, career, finance, family, in all areas of life really. But you can see that these two people feel chained together, which is never a freeing energy. If you looked at the Lovers card, you'll see everything is so free and beautiful, but this is just that chained energy where you're bound together, and it's just a very toxic energy. So this can come as a warning to essentially not be so demanding and possessive, but to actually go with the flow and, you know, really harness that energy. Otherwise everything will start to become quite toxic. Then we have the Tower. Now the Tower symbolizes the universe demolishing something in our lives to bring in something even better. This card is very much symbolic of the whole universe. It is about them, you know, taking out the old, bringing in the new, but also about this big shake-up that can happen in our life, situations that we may not expect or may not want in our lives, but they happen for a reason. The Tower happens for a reason, and we may not realize it at that particular time because it looks like this, and we're just like, what? Why? What is the point of this? But actually it happens for a specific reason, and the reason is actually it's actually a pretty good reason, because in the end we realize, I'm so glad that happened because it brought me this, this and this, or it made me realize this, this and this. So the Tower happens for a specific reason, and it is pretty rapid. It is a shake-up in our lives, but it happens for a reason. Okay, I'm just going to take a little sip of my tea. Then we have the Star card. Star card is ruled by Aquarius. This card is all about healing and rejuvenation. It's about focusing on yourself the most. You know, it's about pouring out your emotional energy. Can be to do with visiting therapists and pouring out your emotion and trying to gain support from others. But it's also about healing, rejuvenation, finding yourself, finding peace of mind. And the Star can also be a wish card, so wishing upon that star, wishing for things that you want in life, but also, you know, just wishes in general, you know, making a wish on those stars, and yeah, it's actually a very positive card because it indicates perhaps work that you need to do on yourself, or it indicates that you are perhaps in the pursuit for something a little bit more. Perhaps you want more in a certain situation, or you're just wishing upon wanting something in your life. But the star is actually, can be also about rebirth and about shining brightly, gaining some form of recognition as well. Then we have the moon. This is ruled by Pisces. Now, there's quite a bit to say with this moon card. Sometimes this can indicate secrets. It can indicate something being hidden, something not coming to light, not being able to understand a specific situation, being really confused. On the other hand, the moon can actually guide you. It can be this guidance card that is telling you to, whenever there's a new moon, a full moon, to burn your intentions, write everything down, burn your intentions, and use the law of attraction to try and start off a new moon cycle, or a full moon, from the full moon, to essentially, from one full moon to the other full moon, to really be able to understand your intentions and be able to work more on yourself. But the moon here is really about cycles and phases. This can be about certain cycles closing out, certain phases appearing in your life, certain cycles that just keep occurring. So for example, you may find that there are certain patterns within your love life or your relationship life or your career or your finances that just keep repeating. So this could be trying to identify those patterns and seeing what differences you can make, and essentially being able to find out the truth from certain situations. Again, it can be about finding, that someone's been hiding something from you, or secrets, but it's a very sort of emotional energy because it can be quite sort of rocky, especially with Pisces energy. You may find out something that perhaps you didn't expect to find out. So that is the moon card. We also have then the sun card, which follows. Now the sun is ruled by Leo in astrology as well. So the sun here is about warmth and happiness and joy and growth. You have these sunflowers, you have this child, you have this horse, you have the sun behind just glowing and radiating all this positive energy. It's about positivity, it's about a yes. Essentially this is like a yes card, and it's just got this incredibly beautiful energy of happiness and joy. And what else should I say about this? It's about that really beautiful energy. It's just great. It's about happiness, enjoying yourself, feeling good about yourself, taking this opportunity to do things for yourself. And also, if you're perhaps not feeling so great, this card could be that you have the potential to feel amazing. So that is the sun card. It's about happiness, and it's about the sun, and it's about making us feel warm and nurtured and kind, and it's a great card to have. Okay, next card we have is Judgment. So, we've got the Judgment card here. This is about making a decision. It's about some form of a decision where you are going to be having to make a decision, or someone else will make a decision, depending on how you word the question, of course. So this is about being given an option, making it's almost like it's Judgment Day. You have to make a decision. The time has come, and it's essentially about you having to make a decision, saying yes or no. So it indicates that there is some form of a decision that you will have to make in regards to a person, a place, or a thing, depending, of course, on what you asked, the question for. It's almost like people are waiting for that particular that judgment to be, the decision to be made. And this is going to be quite an important decision because it could impact other people we are seeing here. So yeah, it's an important decision that needs to be made. We have here the World. So this is the last major arcana for the first 22, I believe 22 cards. So we have the World. This is about completing a cycle. This is about a phase ending. This is about a cycle being completed. This is about karma being wrapped up. It's about this new chapter, this new phase. It's about all of these traits and it's about feeling very positive and great, and this person's just floating and they feel great and amazing. So it's all about this cycle ending, and the World card is about completion. It could also indicate the world, perhaps seeing more of the world, physically, but also it's about a cycle ending and a new one essentially beginning. This is the end of the major arcana, so it essentially is, this cycle that has been wrapped up. and you can start on a new page. So now we're going to start with the swords. So we have the King of Swords. Okay, someone who's very blunt, very much in their power, someone who can be very standoffish. The king is someone that stands in their power, doesn't care what other people think. They have an opinion, they're not afraid to express it. That sword is very communicative. They are very much so, you know, wrapped up in air energy. Now, all of the swords are air energy, so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius energy. And very much so, they stand in their power and they're not afraid of anyone or anything. But again, very much, you know, uses that sword to communicate, but also to cut out things that do not serve them. So that is the King of Swords. Okay, now the counterpart is equally just as as driven, should we say. The Queen of Swords is someone who uses that sword as a form of clarity and also communication as well. She's not afraid to cut out people, places, and things that do not serve her. The Queen can be brought in to essentially cut out certain situations in life that do not serve her, certain situations that just are not any good, and also it can indicate that there may be some form of a decision that you may need to make on a particular person, a place, or a thing, and the Queen really does sit in her power. Now, they are two counterparts, so if both of these come out in a love reading, it can essentially indicate that this is a match, or there is some form of a match being made, but it's also counterparts, so you could be relevant to both energies. But I love this Queen because she is an incredible communicator, someone that just isn't afraid to express her opinion, but also is very quick to cut out things that do not serve her. She's also very free. Then we have the Knight of Swords. So this is a bit more of a younger, played down energy on the king. This is someone that comes in very, very quick, rushes in, comes in with that sword so fast, communication. It's like they fly through the air on that on that horse. They come in very, very fast, very, very quickly, and they just aren't afraid. Absolutely not afraid. If you pick this for career or love or family, someone could be just coming in really, really quickly, or something could just come in so quickly it takes you by complete surprise. That is the Knight of Swords. Then we have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords, again, is a bit more of a younger energy to the Knight of Swords. This is, you know, someone coming in, communicating with you, essentially, you know, just a bit more of an immature energy as well, perhaps doesn't know how to use that sword as well as the other sword energies that we just read on, but definitely a page that just knows how to communicate and is sort of young and fun and has that fresh energy of wanting to communicate and brings in an offer or something like that, you know, brings this sort of reward to you, but perhaps it could be sort of more immature, maybe something you may not necessarily believe. Then we get on to the Ace of Swords. This is all about clarity. That sword is used to cut out things that do not serve, you know, you. It can also be used to gain some form of a truth on a situation. You may learn about a secret, you may learn about something about someone, and it's all about, you know, having that power to cut people out, to understand a situation, understanding truth, and being able to own that truth, know the truth, and being able to also, it can be someone else offering communication to you, coming towards you with this sword, you know, maybe even wanting to like do something like knight you. So that is the Ace of Swords. Then we have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is about confusion. It's about being really decisive and indecisive and not essentially knowing what you want. You know, this person has their arms crossed, they're sitting down and they're blindfolded. They are confused, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know why they're there. They just feel really defensive with those two arms that are crossed over. You have these two swords, so it's like they're just trying to use any method of defense. You have that moon, which is withholding secrets. You have a lot of water behind, which of course is that watery energy. And, you know, they're just really confused. They don't know what path to take. They don't know what to do. They're just so confused. This is confusion at its finest. They don't know. They really don't know. Two of Swords is serious confusion and being just blinded and trapped and just not knowing what they're doing. Then we have the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is heartbreak. It's sadness, it's betrayal. It doesn't necessarily have to be for love, of course. You know, heartbreak comes in many, many forms, many ways. So it can be really to do with any form of heartbreak or hurt or betrayal or sadness. You know, it can also be depression as well. You have this rainy weather and clouds, so feeling under the weather as well. Can also be a third-party situation with the Three Swords, so someone else being involved. This could be about lying, cheating, betrayal of that sort, but in general being stabbed 3 times in the heart and not just once. So yes, this could indicate someone else in the situation, but this is about heartbreak. It's just about, it's horrible, it's awful. This energy is really heavy and hurtful and not great, but this can indicate that there may be some heartbreak coming your way, or maybe you have gone through this. It could also mean that there may be a third person in a love situation with someone that you're involved with, but in general it is just heartbreak. It can also be hurt and sadness, or hurt that you may face with a particular person, or even in career, or your family or finances. So you know, this is a very genuine, like really heavy heartbreak card. Then we have the Four of Swords. I'm just going to take my tea. Four of Swords is about resting and retreating. So from each card we have growth. We go from the Three of Swords to the Four of Swords and then to the Five of Swords. This is about growth. So this is about resting, retreating, taking time for yourself, hanging up those swords and not battling with anyone or anything, resting, meditating, taking time for yourself, and just being able to be at one with yourself. This is a very calming card. It's just, you know, it's really great. It's a calm card, and it indicates, you know, to take time for yourself and to just let things be. And you know, this can be about sleeping as well, and taking just a lot of strength and a lot of time for yourself, and not, you know, just hanging up all of those swords and laying them to rest as well. So this is a real genuine card about resting, retreating, meditating, and taking time for yourself. Then we have the Five of Swords. Now this indicates conflict. This indicates, you know, that you're trying, you may have been battling with other people, or someone is battling with you, but this person keeps looking back. So it's almost like they're taking all of these swords, but they're looking back and they're sort of almost wanting to fight with these particular people while still moving away and holding on to these swords. So these people have given up, but this person here just wants to keep going at it and going at it. And you see all of these really jagged clouds as well. This is like really just very like sharp, intense conflict and energy. Fives in tarot are all about change. So if you get this card, it usually means that this person will sort of somehow, you know, this situation, not this person, sorry, but the situation will somehow change. So, you know, you could walk away from this person, or you may walk away, you know, from these people, depending on what the situation is, but this is all about conflict. And we always have growth from one tarot card to the other. So then we have this sort of card where you're moving away emotionally. This card is about moving away from things emotionally, taking a trip, but it's almost like you're taking your baggage with you. It can be kind of this sad energy where you're sort of just trying to move away, but you're still shrouded and hunched over, not feeling your best, you know, emotional energy. You see those waves at the bottom. So it's like on one side things are quite calm, and on the other side where where this person is trying to row, the energy is very like all over the place, but it's like taking your baggage with you, which are these really heavy swords, and it's like you're trying to get away, but you're taking all of that with you. So, you know, it's that kind of an energy where you're trying to move away from things emotionally, but also it's not the most helpful in that sense. But it can help you. It's just how the rest of the cards pan out from that. But this is about moving away from things emotionally, taking a trip, trying to find yourself, but it's also about still holding on and carrying that baggage. Then we go to the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords did not want to stay in my hand. Seven of Swords is about deceit. It's about lying, betrayal, cheating, doing something behind someone else's back. So someone could, so this person here is quite clearly stealing all of these swords, trying to run away, but still has the intention of stealing these swords because they're looking back and they're like trying to run as fast as they can. So this could indicate someone lying, cheating, doing something behind your back, not telling you the truth, trying to run away from a situation, not being honest with you, that kind of a situation. It's not a great energy to be in. It's not a great energy to read on for me either. Personally, I don't like this energy whatsoever. It's not a good energy. So this does indicate some form of lying or cheating or dishonesty. Then we have the Eight of Swords. Now this is a card of feeling trapped and bound. This person is completely bound and bandaged and they can't see anything. They are stuck with all of these swords. You know, this horrible grungy energy at the bottom as well, which is just like water and ugh. You know, it's like they're trapped and they're bound and they have no, it's like they have no escape. And this can be in situations where someone feels just trapped. They don't know what to do in their life. They feel confused. They don't understand. They're not able to see things clearly. They just feel like they can't move. And it's that energy of just not knowing and severe confusion. But actually to a point where you can't even see anything clearly. You just feel stuck in one particular place and you just cannot move. It's that energy and it's being stuck with all of your baggage. It's literally just surrounding you. So it's about not being able to see that you're stuck, you know. Then we have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is all about not being able to sleep, overthinking. It's about, you know, that head in those hands. It's about not being able to sleep and think, and you have all of this baggage. You're just thinking about all of these different things and you're just not able to get any sort of answer, any closure. You don't know what's going on. It's this horrible energy of just not knowing what you're doing, not knowing what you want. It can also be this energy of just, you know, something's happened in your life and you just can't shake that feeling whatsoever. Now, nines are almost a completion, but not quite. So it's that energy of like you're almost completing the cycle. You have this pain barrier to just get through, but you know, you just keep going round and round and round with the nines. So yeah, it's not a great energy at all. It's about overthinking, worrying, analysing, not being able to sleep. Now, tens in tarot are all about completion. So whilst this person with the Ten of Swords is completely stabbed in the back and they literally can't move and they're just, it's, you know, there's this dead energy, it also means that this cycle is over and it cannot hurt more than it hurts in this moment. So that's the positive with the Ten of Swords, is that yes, although it will hurt and it is a hurtful energy and it's not a great energy to be in, it's the end. It's the cycle that has been completed with the 10. So at least there is that positive with it there. This can indicate some form of hurt that you may come across and that, you know, you will have to get through, or it can indicate the ending of a cycle where you just are continuously hurt, or, you know, a cycle where you're continuously feeling like this. You know, you will finally get to a point where you literally just don't care about it and then you're able to move on from it, or you're able to heal from it. Whew. Okay, so now we are on to the cups. Cups are water energy, so we have Cancer, Pisces and Scorpio with the cups. So we have the King of Cups. I'm just going to take a little sip of my tea because my throat is getting very dry. Okay. King of Cups is someone that stands in their power and is openly emotional. Emotionally quite vulnerable, but is very open to it. Stands in their power, holds that cup very high, has a lot of love, has a lot of sort of gratitude as well, and no matter how rocky those waves are, they very much sit in their power. No matter how emotional things get, they are always in their power, always ready to support. It's a very supportive king, especially emotionally. So I really love this King of Cups energy because, you know, emotions are very hard to express, but I really admire the fact that the king is really able to do that very, very openly. So this can really represent some openings and a lot of maturity as well when it comes to this card popping up in readings. It shows emotional maturity and a lot of openness when it comes to emotions. Then we have the Queen of Cups, so of course they are counterparts. So the Queen of Cups is very, very emotionally vulnerable. You see all of that energy there, and she's sort of just she's kind of just bending her neck down a little bit. So she's very intuitive, thinks a lot, and is very emotionally invested in a lot of things. Emotionally invested in people, places, things, but owns that emotional sense and is very, very balanced in doing so, because of course she is a queen. So I love this queen as well, because I just think that, you know, there's so much power in being emotionally vulnerable and emotionally open and owning that emotional sense. And she's also just as loving, and she's very empathic as well, because she's able to understand other people's emotions, other people's feelings. So when this card comes out, it's about owning that vulnerability or that vulnerable side, and having that sort of empathic side, essentially. Really, really beautiful card to have in a reading. We have the Knight of Cups. Now this is usually that card that comes out in the love readings, which signifies that someone's coming towards you with that cup. Now it can also indicate that the horse is perhaps just stopping and not perhaps, maybe could be refusing to cross that river, but and it really depends on how the cards come out and how you read the energy, but most of the time this knight does represent that this knight is coming towards you with a full cup of love, or that emotional investment and energy, and is coming towards you and does want more with you. So that's also what it can signify. So you've got this beautiful, beautiful energy. It can also signify in terms of career and finances, things coming towards you. So it doesn't just have to be for love, but it is in many, many ways, and it's almost like it's guided by the angels, especially with that little wing that I'm seeing there as well. So this is all about things coming towards you, things that will satisfy you emotionally and in terms of love, but coming towards you, and something that you essentially really would like is what I'm seeing. So that is the Knight of Cups. Then we have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is like a little good luck offering. Page of Cups can actually be quite immature. I do think that the pages in tarot are a little bit immature, but this is, about them essentially offering you this cup, and it's almost quite lucky because there's a fish inside that cup, but again, that can be also immature, so you have to read it in relation to the other cards. Page of Cups is about this offering being made to you. Again, it can be lucky or it can be quite immature, and it's about something that's already manifested. So whether that's within a career, something may have already manifested, like you may have talked to somebody in regards to getting a job, or you may have talked to someone in regards to your career, maybe getting a promotion. But this is about something already manifesting. Or in terms of love, you may be waiting for someone to give you a bit more. It could be to do with a past ex or something like that. Things have manifested within you from the past, but maybe they're coming back around and offering you something. So it's that idea of something has already manifested with this Page of Cups, and it's this lucky offering that they are willing to give you, perhaps again or for the first time. But yes, that is the Page of Cups. Can be immature, can actually be very lucky. Really depends on how you read the cards. Then we have the Ace of Cups. This is about ever flowing, everlasting. This is just that cup never ever ending in terms of love, in terms of emotional intensity and satisfaction and love. It's just really lucky. It's very beautiful. It's this fountain of love, this cup of love that just doesn't end, unconditional. It's something just so, so beautiful, this offer coming towards you in terms of love and emotion and just all satisfaction in terms of, it can be career, again, it can be love, it can be family, it can be finance, it can be many, many different things. But this is a beautiful card to have because it's all about your cup is just overflowing with love, or their cup is overflowing with love, and someone offering you something in regards to that. But it brings you, brings you a lot of emotional satisfaction, a lot of, satisfaction in many areas. Then we have the Two of Cups, which is all about mutual love. So this is about two people offering their cups to one another, but it's mutual. It's very, very equal, if you split it down the middle. Very, very equal, definitely not one-sided. A really beautiful card when it comes up in terms of love and career, because it shows that there is that mutual aspect to it. It's not one-sided, it is two-sided, and it is very much appreciated. So there is that cup with the Two of Cups. A really, really good card to have. Very mutual. Then we have the Three of Cups. This is a card about reunions, gatherings, can be socializing and partying, but could be a reunion with perhaps, I'm losing my voice, your friends. Could be a reunion with an ex, could be a reunion with, getting back together with someone perhaps you were in a long distance relationship with. But I'm also seeing that this could be a karmic card as well. So perhaps, someone's hanging out with someone else that you may not like. So it can be about that, but usually it's quite a happy, joyful card. But sometimes, you know, the threes can, again, it depends on how we read this particular spread, but it can be a karmic situation, so it's a situation where someone has a lesson to learn, so that's why they come across that person, or perhaps you know, they go to another person, but it's nothing but a lesson is what I see, because I always see the Three of Cups as a karmic card, not something stable or secure if they do go to run into another person. But I'm also seeing that this can be a beautiful card about reunions and gatherings and just having fun, you know, with those cups and dancing and joy. So again, this card does have two meanings. You have to really look at how it's being read in tarot. Then we have the Four of Cups. This is about someone offering something and this person not being very receptive. They're focusing on these things here and not necessarily this thing here. Really contemplating and thinking about their life, not necessarily looking at other things that are going on. So, you know, perhaps you're trying to offer someone your love and they're just not really responding. They're just happy with how things are in their life, or, you know, vice versa. So, yeah, this could also be about options or opportunities in terms of career or just anything in life, genuinely. You know, they just may not want to communicate with you, they may not want to take up certain offers or work on themselves, or, you know, they're just really happy doing whatever they are and whatever they have in their life right now. So that's that Four of Cups card where, you know, there's that offer that comes in, but it's almost like they're just happy with how things are at that time, taking time for themselves and also perhaps even meditating and just being within nature. Then we have the Five of Cups, which is a card of self-pity and wallowing in sadness. These three cups have fallen over, so they're focusing on the negatives, not the two that are upright. So they're focusing on the negatives, not the positive. They're shrouded, they're hunched over, wrapped in black. But as I mentioned, fives in tarot are all about change. So this particular situation, it can change depending on the placement of the rest of the cards. But it does indicate a lot of sort of sadness, can also be grief and upset on certain situations where you're not able to really look at the positives and it's just much easier to live in the negatives, and it can also be a recurring cycle as well. Then we move on to the Six of Cups. This is a soulmate card because there is this offering that is being made here. Now, in many cases, this particular card can actually be a very immature card, just because you do have this energy where it can be quite childish. There is no water in those cups. Water signifies emotional energy. There is no emotion necessarily, but it can be a very childish, playful, flirtatious energy, which actually at the beginning of many relationships or friendships can be actually quite fun and endearing. So it can also indicate soulmate energy, but it can be a card that may not necessarily show the long term in this particular card, just because it is this very playful energy, you know, where there's flowers being gifted and that kind of thing. Again, you really have to read this particular card in regards to other cards, and of course it depends on your question as well, if you just pull one card or you pull multiple cards. But this card is a soulmate energy. It can signify balance, but it is also an immature energy as well, so it can be two things, a little bit like the Fool card as well. So it can essentially be those two those two energies. You see that this person here is very, very shy and kind of turning away. There's a lot of yellow in this card, which does signify, you know, a gift coming your way, or just a lot of warmth and happiness and joy. And yeah, again, it can be a gift. But I am seeing that this can be a beautiful sort of soulmate card, just really beautiful childlike energy where you're just playing and having fun and meeting up and that kind of thing. But this can be an energy present in soulmates as well. Then we have the Seven of Cups. This is about illusion, fantasy, dreaming. Someone could be dreaming about you, you may be dreaming about them, daydreaming as well. And, you know, all of these cups, again, not full of water, but full of all of these things. It can be about materialism. It can be about seeing things through fantasy, not necessarily reality. It could be the guides or spirits warning you, take off those rose-tinted glasses, start focusing more on the reality of things. It could also mean that whatever it is that you want in life, all of these perhaps things, they can actually manifest. And again, it really does depend on your energy, and of course it depends on the situation, the questions that you've been asking. But say for example you're asking in regards to an ex or someone you're heartbroken over, this could show that, you know, you still miss a lot of things about them, but you're looking at things through rose-tinted glasses, or perhaps you're not seeing them for the reality of the fact that they just broke your heart. So again, you know, this card has multiple meanings, but it is essentially sort of dreaming and wondering and thinking about all of these things, but not necessarily looking at things through actual reality. It's more so the fantasy of things. Then we have the Eight of Cups. This is about self-discovery, it's about walking away, it's about turning your back to all of this emotion, but more so doing some real work on yourself. Now, in relationships, this could mean that someone may walk away from you. They may walk away to try and find themselves, or just walk away in general. This could be you doing some self-discovery on yourself, working on yourself and your emotional self, your health as well. We have the moon here, which indicates, you know, secrets, things coming to light, and also being able to really focus on yourself, work on yourself, and, you know, almost feeling like you have a mountain to climb, but being ready for that particular challenge with the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups could also signify walking away from a certain situation, place, person that may not be serving you right or may not be good for you, especially in relationships, but it can also mean career as well, especially if they're just not serving you well or it's a horrible energy. So this indicates walking away, but can also be self-discovery and trying to work on yourself or someone else working on themselves. Nine of Cups is about sitting pretty pleasant and essentially just wishing or being quite happy with the way things are in your life, you know, just appreciating all of these cups, but, you know, just sitting there and being like, you know what, things are fine, they're fine as they are, things are good, things are okay. But it also can be a wish. This is a wish card, wishing for something to happen, wanting something in your life, but, you know, for the most part, this person is pretty happy with how things are at the moment. But nines are almost a completion, but not quite. Then we have the completion, so this is the Ten of Cups. This is about emotional satisfaction and happiness. Now, for, of course, everyone, this is going to mean completely different things. For some people, they don't want a family. So for some people, they don't want a relationship. They don't want children, you know, so this is very subjective as to what it is that is your Ten of Cups. For a lot of people, you know, Ten of Cups is wanting all abundance, all of that emotional satisfaction, that happiness, wanting marriage and children and that commitment. So for, you know, for if you pull this particular card, it means that there is that abundance coming your way that you want. Whatever your version of the Ten of Cups is, whatever it is that you believe is your Ten of Cups, that is what is coming towards you, and it's going to bring you a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, a lot of radiation. Can't believe I just said that. Basically a lot of radiating energy, you know, with the sun, and just feeling very happy and joyful, but emotionally very satisfied. And yeah, just, you know, it's also almost like a wish coming true. So it's that completion that has taken place. And again, you know, in terms of family and love and joy and career, success, all of those kinds of things, it's a completion coming through. Then we move on to fire energy. This is Aries, Leo and Sagittarius energy, which is the Wands. So we have the King of Wands. King of Wands is passionate, is very sexual. Just sort of thought I'd whisper that. But is someone that stands in their power, has a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity, but a lot of spark. There's a lot of fire there. And they really stand in their power. They really have a will for things, and they're willing to really push for things as well, and they're just really, really magnetic. Someone that just attracts a lot of people, almost like a magnet. And they're just someone that believe in ideas, believe in you, push you forward. You know, it's that energy of just pushing you forward and having that magnetic energy. It's very magnetic, very attractive energy, extremely attractive energy. The counterpart to the King, of course, is the Queen of Wands, and she is very magnetic. She's so magnetic in her energy. Remember, again, there's no genders in tarot. You could take on the Queen of Wands energy by actually being a male, but the Queen of Wands is someone who, again, is very passionate and sensual and very well nourished, knows her likes, her dislikes, but is very, very very intuitive as well, but just has this nourishing energy where she has all of these beautiful things. She has a cat, which, you know, symbolizes some form of luck. There's a lot of growth within her, and of course there is that wand, which is sparks and ideas and just this incredible ability to grow and nurture and care. A really magnetic energy, is very physically attractive, as is the king as well, very physically attractive, but also very, in herself as well, very, very, like, the inner beauty really shines through as well, and just has this radiating quality with all of that yellow. So very attractive, very, very, very attractive. The Queen of Wands is known to be very attractive, both inner and outer beauty. So, you know, definitely when you pull this particular card, it can signify, you know, that there's this ability to really stand in your power, or to, you know, nourish yourself, work on yourself. There's loads of ideas coming towards you, or, you know, someone of this nature that you may be approaching or may come into your life. Then we have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is a bit more of an immature energy to the king, comes rushing in, is actually very sexual as well, and very flirtatious, very sensual, comes rushing in, fire energy. This horse is red hot, comes really, really quickly. The Knight of Wands has this ability to disappear just as quickly as they come in, so do be wary of that as well. They come in really quickly. It's almost like this phallic object as well, you know, but they come in really, really quickly, hot and heavy. You know, communication, but they come in so quickly. Again, this could be someone that sweet talks you, or talks, you know, has a lot of talk, but they have just as much action, but they can run away just as quickly. So it's that kind of an energy. Again, it really depends on your energy and of course the cards that you pick, but they come in and they may disappear just as quickly, but they do show a lot of action because it is wands, and they do communicate a lot. Then we have the Page of Wands. This is about a creative idea, it's about a spark, it's about a project, it's about being proud of your ideas. It could be offering ideas to someone else. The page here is very proud of their accomplishments, and is someone that really is much of an action taker. So the King of Wands actually is a huge action taker as well, which is something that I forgot to mention, but the page is very much so, very goal orientated, takes a lot of action, has that ability to really be able to you know, provide that to others as well, and is very fiery in nature. You see that they're all very, very red as well, so there is that quality within them. So whether you pick this for career or love, or you're asking this question on regards to someone else, it's about taking some form of an action, or something coming towards you in regards to an action that has been taken. Can be quite lucky as well. Then we have the Ace of Wands. Now I can't help but look at this as something quite phallic. I'm sorry, but this can also be an olive branch as well, being offered out to you, something that is very positive, something that you've kind of always wanted. It can be a little bit sexual, but I am seeing this as something that is quite you know, something that is being offered out to you in terms of creativity and ideas and, you know, passion or spark. It's this sort of action energy. It's almost like being able to wave your wand and something comes towards you, but just this creative idea or this spark or something that you've always sort of waited for, which is coming towards you. So it's about some form of an action being taken, or an action that is given towards you in terms of something you may ask. So if you ask, you know, is this person going to come towards me? Is this person going to offer me commitment? It's like they're going to take some form of an action towards you. Then we have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about options, it's about different paths, it's also about looking out at that globe, looking out at different options that you may have. Make sure you weigh out those options because you do have them. It's also about making some form of a decision as well, and looking out at, you know, different ideas, different things essentially, because the Wands are all about sort of ideas and projects and taking some form of an action in terms of these options, if that makes sense. Then we have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is about waiting, so it can be about you waiting on something or someone, or, you know, something in general. It can be about different paths and taking different paths, so you may be a little bit confused as to which path you want to go down. This is about, you know, choosing a path, or whichever path you may want to go on. So yes, we have the Three of Wands, which can also signify that you may be waiting for a ship to come in or someone to come back into your life, and really just holding on to that idea of you want that particular person, so you're waiting for them. But also does indicate that you may in fact be just confused about which path you want to take in your life, so you're a little bit at a standstill, or you're just waiting, wondering, and sort of trying to figure that out. Then we have the Four of Wands, which likes to make an entrance in a lot of my readings, a lot of them. Four of Wands is a foundation, because you've got 4 pillars. It can be about marriage. So in Hindu weddings, believe it or not, so they have a mandap, which is made up of 4 pillars. So when I look at this card, I always kind of think of weddings, and I think of reunions as well, and coming together of 2 souls. You see these 2 people are so happy, and they're kind of standing underneath this pillar, and they've got a castle behind them. So it's almost like they're a king and queen and they're getting married, or, you know, that kind of an energy. But this is also a twin flame soulmate card. So with twin flames, you have, you know, this push and pull sort of energy with soulmates. You know, you can look up all of that. But in terms of this card, you've got 1111. So a lot of you may be seeing that on your clocks. Anywhere in general you could be seeing that. It's about your angels speaking to you, your manifestations really happening, and it's a very positive energy, because it means that, you know, it's spiritually things are moving forward, and also in the 3D world. So this is a card about reunions, marriage, commitment. It's about building a foundation. It can be about, you know, coming together, and something, this card indicating essentially a twin flame or a soulmate connection. If you pull this card in terms of career, it can indicate that this will bring you a lot of joy, it will be the right path for you, it will be happiness, you know, it's a good stepping stone, that kind of thing, and it will bring you a lot of joy as well. So you have the Four of Wands. Moving on to the Five of Wands, this is about confusion, chaos, whether it's in your mind or genuinely with people. There's a lot of fighting and a lot of confusion, and it's just kind of chaotic, to be honest. So it indicates chaos and confusion, and also fives are about change. So, you know, this does indicate that that situation will change at some point, but in the meantime it's very chaotic. It could be about you not perhaps knowing certain things, or just not knowing which path you want to take, or if you have a decision to make, you may be a little bit confused. So it indicates that form of chaos and confusion. Moving on to the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is about victory and success. It is about progress and potential. It is about moving towards success. It's about celebration, happiness, and beauty in that sense. So it is genuinely about a lot of happiness and just victory in general. I mean, I don't know what more to say about this, but it's genuinely just really good. It's very happy. It's a great card to have, especially when you're asking in terms of career or love, or, you know, how things are going to move forward with you, or what's happening. It indicates that there's victory and success coming towards you, or someone coming towards you bringing that level of abundance. Then we have the Seven of Wands. This is about challenges and obstacles. It's about moving forward regardless of those obstacles. If you're asking this for another person, it means that they have obstacles in their way, but they're still moving, they're still trying to get through them. This could also be for you. So if you pick this card for yourself, it could mean that, you know, there are some obstacles, but you're still trying to get through them. You're not sitting still. You're trying to really fight through them with that fire energy, not giving up. So this is a really positive card to have, because it shows that despite any problems, you know, you're still going. You still keep going, which again is very positive. Then we have the Eight of Wands, which is about communication. This is about ideas, people coming towards you with, you know, communication, their energy, ideas, projects. Can be, I see this as a huge communication card though, especially for people that have not been in communication with someone or are currently in communication with someone. Both really represent a lot of communication coming towards you, just a lot of that back and forth energy of, you know, messaging and then not messaging and messaging and then the other person messaging, and there's just that really incredible energy of just so much communication coming towards you. But in terms of other things, you know, as I mentioned, projects and ideas and just a lot. It can also be a spark between you and another person, and just getting on so well and not being able to stop talking with them. So this is about a lot coming towards you. A lot, all at once almost, you know, it's just shooting towards you. Nine of Wands is about wondering and contemplating and thinking and wondering, you know, especially because 9 to the 10, of course, is almost a completion. So it's about almost thinking, wondering what's going to happen, waiting, making sure that you make the right decision, and, you know, weighing up all of the options that you have. 10 of Wands is about feeling burdened. It's like carrying the weight of the world, not being able to understand why everything is so heavy, feeling like you have to get to that destination, but it's about not being able to put down that burden. You just feel very burdened. There's this heavy energy. You feel like you just have to keep going, even though you really don't. You can put that, you know, weight down. You can change the situation that you're in, whether it's love, career, or whatever the question is. You can, but you know, it can also indicate that whatever situation you may be asking on may leave you feeling quite heavy and burdened and not great in general. It can be too much to take at one go. So it could also mean that perhaps if you're in a situation with someone, maybe it's just too much, maybe it's too intense, maybe they're demanding way too much from you. Could also be in terms of career as well. So this is an energy that is telling you, you know, the cycle is over, put those ones down, and it will be complete. Now we're moving on to the last ones. So we're moving on to the Pentacles, which actually, I really love the Pentacles because it's earth energy. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. I love the Pentacles. So King of Pentacles is a very strong father figure. It is someone who likes marriage and commitment and very much holds it very proudly, is someone who likes to show it, someone who is very much also very affectionate, nurturing, kind, caring, loving, very mature. A lot of things grow around this person. They have a lot of stability, a lot of security, and just a lot to give. They like to give back. That's the King of Pentacles. A lot of security, a lot of stability in terms of career and love, all areas of life. A hell of a lot of stability. Their counterpart is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is someone who, again, is very proud of their achievements, is very is just a great achiever, but at the same time they're very stable and they're extremely humble. A lot grows around them, you know, they're this mother energy, very mature, but they're very, very down to earth. And it just, again, it's about stability, security, nurturing, this very kind, caring energy, very similar to the Empress actually, but a really beautiful energy of just this very down to earth, grounding energy, but someone who's very financially savvy as well. They are both very, very secure as a couple. It's almost like a power couple, but very down to earth and financially very secure. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, which actually I really love this energy. Very, very, it's a very humble energy. So if you're asking that in terms of career or love, it indicates some form of stability and security, especially in that regard. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is very slow. Very slow. Extremely slow. Now, the Knight of Pentacles does think very much in terms of long term, and that's why they take time to come towards you or to tell you how they feel or to make a decision about you, because they're so slow. They like to take things slow and they like to make things last, and that's why. But this Knight of Pentacles is very slow, so it can take them time to approach you. Now, in terms of pulling this card in terms of love, it can indicate that there is potential there, but they will be very slow to offer the commitment. They may just be very slow in general, but it does show that there is some form of commitment coming your way. Can also be in terms of career as well. You may be, you know, you may get a chance at your career or a job, but it will be slow, or perhaps, you know, promotions will be slow. Something is very, very slow in this regard. Again, you know, with friendships and things like that, this person is slow. Family, slow. Financial success can be slow, but in the long term it will give you stability. So there is a positive to take from the Knight of Pentacles. They're very, very slow. You know, this horse is almost just kind of stopped. It's like they're so slow. It needs to stop every 2 little steps. Page of Pentacles. This is about an offer coming your way, something being offered to you. Can be money, can be love, can be success, can be commitment, but it's sort of like that starting bit. So it's almost like something coming your way, something being offered to you very, very proudly, and it's about a little bit of luck as well. So that's the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I mainly think about the Page of Pentacles. There's this offering coming your way, but pages are known to be a little bit more immature, but I do think with the earth energy, they're a little bit more grounded, they're a little bit more sensible, they're able to understand. So it's also, you know, being careful with your money and things like that. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. This indicates a resource coming your way, so it can be money, it can be financial. It can also be commitment in terms of love or just abundance in general. So this is really, really beautiful. Someone offering this to you, allowing for growth, allowing you to go through this little tunnel here, and into this new world, or this new chapter. So it's something that's definitely very, very useful to you. Could also be a promotion, but something that leads you into another chapter, essentially. Ace of Pentacles. Then we have the Two of Pentacles, which indicates juggling, balance, trying to balance multiple things in your life, which can actually be kind of emotional. It can be an emotional roller coaster to balance all of these things, but I'm seeing that you are trying to balance them as smoothly as possible. This can also indicate people as well. So someone could try and balance two people at once, or try and balance multiple projects or things that they need to do at once. So I'm seeing a lot of balance that is happening in the Two of Pentacles, or juggling and balancing. Three of Pentacles is all about hard work. It's about teamwork, collaboration, people looking onto you, and making sure that you are doing a good job at things, but also about, you know, teamwork. So in relationships, it's about, you know, teamwork and collaboration. That is the basis of a relationship. But you're doing it more for the satisfaction of the work being done well, rather than the monetary value of it. So these pentacles are not so yellow, because you're making sure that, you know, the job is done, you know, really, really well, and you're not just focusing on the money or the success of whatever it is. You're just making sure that the people are really happy with what you're doing, which you may do within your career or within love. You just want people to be satisfied, rather than focusing, you know, on the goals or the money or that kind of a thing, or the commitment. You just want them to be happy in the moment and make sure that whatever you're doing is right. So this is about teamwork, collaboration, and building that foundation too, of trust as well. So we see with the Four of Pentacles is about holding on, not wanting to let go. This person is just holding on to them coins. This could be about person not wanting to let go of you, you not wanting to let go of a person. Could also be to do with career, not wanting to let go of that particular thing. Again, it could be whatever you're asking the question in regards to. So not wanting to let go, holding on for dear life, which can be positive or negative. Again, it depends on your situation, but just literally not wanting to let go. It's like you're holding on for dear life. Sometimes this can be negative because it indicates that you're not willing to go with the flow of life and to you know, accept things as they are. And sometimes it can be a good thing, because it means that you're holding on to something that could later come to fruition or really transform. So Four of Pentacles is all about not wanting to let go. Five of Pentacles is about feeling left out in the cold, feeling like someone's left you, but just feeling really left out. You know, these people are in this really cold weather, something's happening inside of this church, something very positive, and you just feel really left out. Now, the fives in tarot are all about change, so this particular situation can change. It also indicates that, you know, something really positive can happen after this, but it's also about that emotional energy of just feeling really left out, and you know, this can indicate that you may get left out of a certain situation, or that you may leave out someone in the situation. So that's the Five of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is all about balance, because you have, of course, Libra with the scales. You have the Six Pentacles. This is about give and take. It's equal energy, equal balance. So this can be in terms of relationship, career, finance, etc., etc. It's about balance. So give and take. That is the big message. So it also means that if you're asking, you know, is this person worth it? And this card comes out, it's about give and take. You know, this person is balanced, but it's also about making sure that they, you know, they're going to be someone that actually give and take, but also that you need to give and take. So it's that perfect balancing card, giving and taking. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is all about all of the work that you've done, so you've planted the seeds, you've watered it, you've nourished it daily, you've dug out all the weeds, everything's grown, and now you're thinking about the next step. So you're thinking about improvement, you're thinking about the next step maybe in terms of career or relationships, perhaps you're waiting for that next step and you just feel like you've done everything, so it's about waiting, and also can be about wondering about the next step, thinking about what's next. Is the next thing going to bring you happiness? It's about that sort of wondering energy, and also about the job that you've done, which is actually very, very good. It's like you've done everything, but what's going to happen now, So it's about that wondering energy. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is all about hard work, whether that's in relationships or love or career or family. This is about you working very, very hard. Can also be yourself, okay? So this could be working hard on yourself, but this is about really lining up all of your coins, trying to be as stable as possible, whether that's emotionally, financially, physically, mentally. This is about, earth energy is really about all the elements put together, Earth really is that. So it's about lining everything up and working really, really hard. It can also indicate, if you pull this card in regards to someone else, it could mean that they're working very, very hard on, on work, making sure that things are able to still progress with you. Or it could mean that they're working very hard on themselves or their careers. So this is about working very hard. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. We're almost at the end. Nine of Pentacles indicates just feeling really abundant, and it's also a single energy, so it can indicate someone's single, or they may be single, or it could indicate their energy and their aura. Nine of Pentacles is about feeling really abundant with all of these coins, this bird, and just feeling really, really happy in the single energy. It's very much about yourself. Now, you could still be with someone and still be in this kind of energy where you're just really happy with everything in your life, but you have a lot of self-love for yourself, so even if you weren't with someone else, you would still feel the same way, if that makes any sense. So it's about feeling really happy and just really, really good in this particular energy, in this particular card. It just indicates a lot of happiness and abundance, and just not caring what people think, just being so happy within yourself, and a lot of self-love. So this is the Nine of Pentacles. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is the final card in tarot. This is about abundance in all forms of life. This is happiness, this is about, the pets, the family life, the home, the garden, the career, the finances. It's about all of these coins being in all areas of your life and just giving you so, so much happiness, abundance. This is about, everything that just makes you very, very happy, but it's not just about the coins, it's about everything else as well. So this is a perfect balance. This is about all of that abundance coming your way, and it is about happiness in all areas of your life. So we have gone from the Fool to the Ten of Pentacles, and we have pretty much covered all 78 cards. So I want to thank you all so much if you have stuck around. Thank you all so much for sticking around, and yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to my channel for readings that I am doing. Also, I am doing a giveaway, so you can take part in that. All the information is in the description section of this video, as well as my bracelets, and I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!